Hello and welcome back to SEGA News Bits Live. I'm Barry, and this is a video I've been wanting to do for a little bit. I wasn't sure when I was going to do it. As you can see from the thumbnail, it's a Sonic 3 toy guide. Ooh! But I don't, when the Sonic movies were coming out, they had that god-awful design for the first movie, and because of that, the first movie really didn't have that much merch. It had like a plush doll that I think they rushed out, and then the baby Sonic plush, which looked weird because it was based on the old design, and then on top of that, they had some of their little tchotchkes, and the weirdest decision was to include a baby Sonic keyring with, what was it, Sonic Colors Ultimate. Really weird decision. And then when Sonic 2 rolled around, they, like, in my opinion, like, nailed it. Like, the figures were cool. They were easy to collect. They had the 2 waves of figures in the 4-inch line. They had that multi-pack with Sonic in different costumes, which honestly for me was kind of a throwback to Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. And then the plush and the little figures. And so, initially I was like, I don't think I'm going to collect these. And then when I saw them, I'm like, you know what? It's not a major lift. It's like 8 figures total. That's not bad. And to be honest, now that we're going into the third movie, I realize, like, there's not going to be a live action Sonic 1, 2, and 3 movie trilogy probably ever again, at least in my lifetime. And so I'm like, you know what? Why not ride the wave? Why not have fun when these movies release? Pick up the toys when I find them, go to the McDonald's and get the Happy Meals. Though, to be honest, I only went a few times, and I actually bought the full set on eBay because it saved me a lot of time and gas money. But yeah, so now that the third movie is on the horizon, the toys are starting to hit stores. It can be a little confusing as to, like, what is where and what's worth picking up and what you should probably avoid if you already bought some Sonic 2 merch, or, to be quite honest, like, well, we'll get into it. But I just want to give some tips first off. So, number one, if you see Sonic merch in the wild, especially like hot new stuff, just buy one. Don't become like a scalper. Don't become a flipper. You're not going to make that much money on these things unless you were like really going out there buying up everything and you have no soul and you can't realize that you just basically bought out the stock of an entire store just so you could take advantage of some, I don't want to, call people names or anything, but like you're being kind of stupid if you're dropping $150 on brand new Sonic toys that are going to be readily available in the coming months. Like, chill out, don't feed the scalpers, and don't be a scalper, and so you won't go to hell. That's how it works, actually. God spoke to me last night. He said as much. Number two, well, there's 2 websites that I think are great resources. And so we're going to jump right into the web view. The first website that I always use for Sonic toys is the Sonic WikiZone wiki entry for Jakks Pacific. And I'll scroll through here, but you can see this has everything, and it's such an easy way to go through and see, what's out there, what you're missing, what you want to pick up. And, going back to what I was talking about here, like, look at the Sonic 1 merch line. Like, basically 3 things, and only one of them utilizing the new design. And even then, he did not have the proper shoes. You can't even see him in the box. They kind of hid him. But he has like weird laced up shoes. I don't know why. Sonic 2 rolls around, and like I mentioned, here's those 2 waves. Unfortunately, Wave 2 was harder to find, and they also released Sonic, or Super Sonic with green eyes initially, and that's the one I bought, and then I realized they fixed it with red eyes, and I can't find that one, but they're cool, right? Like, you got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Robotnik with a cup of coffee, which is just fantastic. And then Wave 2, Super Sonic, Sonic with his, like, blue lightning, Tails with his little pilot's hat, and then Knuckles with a big ring that you can kind of shove him through. I think those are just, they're great, and the prices are fantastic. $9.99. Like, I'm a Star Wars collector, and they're starting to price me out. It's like $25 for a Black Series Star Wars figure and $18 for a carded little 3.5-inch figure. But here we are, for almost half the price. You can get 2 Sonic toys at 4-inch scale instead of a little tiny Han Solo. But then they had these awesome multi-packs. Like, check these out. So, the question is, what are they going to do for Sonic 3? And as you can see here, they had the 2.5-inch figures. I actually never saw these little individually carded ones in the wild, but I definitely did see the 4-pack, which is honestly a better value. But then they went on, they made really cool things like the Tornado and the giant Eggman robot playset, which I did a Twitter or Instagram video of it just like smashing the hell out of Sonic, and the actor who plays Agent Stone retweeted it and loved it, so that made my day. They also had a little 9-inch plush here, as well as a 13-inch plush, a re-release of the weird talking one. You can finally see his goofy shoes. Look at that. Like, oh my god, what were they thinking? And then the Sonic Speed RC set. So that's kind of the primer for what 2 did and what we can probably expect and will expect for 3. Now, another great resource is Sonic Merch News on Twitter. I won't call it X. I don't post to Twitter or X that much anymore. It just kind of makes me feel icky, but it's a great resource. Unfortunately, like one of the many issues with the site, you have to have an account to actually see recent posts. It's the stupidest thing. But if you go to their page and you have a shitter account, you can see all the new stuff coming out, and there's nice little leaks and things. So it's very helpful. This is a great resource. So that's what I use when on the hunt. But as you saw here, like, they don't have images up yet. So thankfully, look at me, I got all the tabs open for you. So let's first talk about the 5-inch articulated figure. There's 4 of these. These are going to be available at many places. I'm presuming Amazon, but most definitely Target and Walmart. And there's 4 figures. So the first one is going to be, obviously, Sonic. And then the second one is Tails. The third one is Shadow. And then 4th is Robotnik. And these ones are, at the very least, for Robotnik and Sonic and Tails, they look like bigger versions of the 2.5-inch or 4-inch figures. Now, Robotnik, he's been in both those sizes. So now we have a 2.5-inch, a 4-inch, and a 5-inch one. And it's kind of weird that they just opted for 5-inch and didn't do the 4-inch scale, which, like, it would have been fun to kind of mix and match the sets, but instead now you have like slightly larger figures. But this is in line with what they've been doing with Sonic Prime, and the Sonic Prime figures were a little bigger, a little more detailed, and highly articulated. And I actually have one of the figures here, so I'll switch to the main view. You can take a look at it. So this is the Sonic. I went out to Target today, and I realized that probably over the past few visits, they had like a Sonic 3 display sitting in the electronics section of all places, because my little app was saying there were things in the store. I could never find them. It turns out they had it in the electronics. But look at that. Really nice articulation here. It's, if you follow Sonic action figures, like when Jazzwares had the license, they tried to do little tinier figures with this type of articulation. It just looked weird. Like Sonic had big lumpy elbows and big lumpy knees, and he fell apart. But these are much more, I mean, it probably will come apart if I pull on it, but much more sturdy. And you can do so much with him. On our Instagram and Facebook pages, you can see some of the posability of this figure, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. It's nice to get those numbers up. We got rookie numbers right now. We got to pump those numbers up. 2 oddities though with Sonic, and I'm assuming Shadow as well. Look at this. There's like weird, like clear plastic on his spikes, and I'll explain why those are there in a moment. And then also his eyes have this really strange, like, and I think it actually works well because it almost gives like his eyes kind of move with you, but they're like set back with plastic over them, which is interesting. It gives it, I guess, a little more of a movie look, and also, like I said, like it almost his eyes kind of move with you, which is kind of eerie. His hands open too, but honestly, when his hands are open, they look kind of weird. They look like this, which is kind of an odd thing. They look best when they're in little fists. But you can get these right now at Walmart and Target. However, like I mentioned at the top, the scalpers are going crazy. So unfortunately, like a lot of the stores are cleared out right now. Best bet, and this is my tip, check Target.com, check Walmart.com. They will have them available at some point on the website. Now, my issue with Walmart.com is they allow third-party sellers to go in here. So you can see here, like, Sonic, he's out of stock at local places. But look at this. Tails is $45 from a reseller. High Tide Furniture Finds Corporation. What a reputable source this is. And as you can see here, Tails is very happy to have you spend $45 on a brand new figure. Don't do that. These are $15. Same with Shadow. You can see him here too. $48.95. Again, don't spend that money. And then Robotnik is just straight up sold out. But I think these figures look really cool. I'm looking forward to picking up the other three. And I'm going to have patience. These will be available. It's not like these are like highly rare items. It's just they're just hitting stores right now. So following up from that, there's going to be a second release. And this is a 4-pack at Target. It's going to be, I believe, a little over $50, which is not bad when you consider that the first wave is about $60 total. And this wave's just, I think, a little bit less. And it has a few cool features. So one is that, and let's see if it doesn't glitch out on me. I don't know what's up with the Target site. But Sonic has a little, and Shadow, electronic thing. So when you press their chest, the electricity in their spikes light up. And that's why this first wave one has that. It's kind of weird that there's a byproduct of a feature that doesn't exist in it. I suspect if you put a flashlight inside of his head, you would like light up those spikes, which is really weird that they didn't just make two different heads. Maybe it was a cost-cutting thing. It's also worth noting that these are a little different. So at least Sonic has a different face, I believe. Like this one, his mouth is kind of opened a little bit. His tongue's showing. This one looks a little different, but it does have that electronic, and so does Shadow. Now, Tails there, you can see him. He looks super cranky, whereas here, he's super happy. Happy Tails. So there is going to be variation between Tails. And then in Wave 1, of course, we had Robotnik, whereas in Wave 2, which is going to be a 4-pack, you get Knuckles. So if you want the whole set and you don't care about variants, you can pick up this one and then be on the lookout for Robotnik. It's going to make things a lot easier for you. Otherwise, I think it's actually kind of smart of them to make them look different with different faces, because I much prefer that to like the paint being a little bit different or having like electricity painted onto them. Now, going back to this little guide here, you'll see too that there is some other items down here. So there are 5-inch packs. I already talked about the 5-inch action figure pack. And then there's going to be a Shadow and motorcycle pack. And here it is in hand. This is a photo from someone on Twitter, but I actually saw one myself. I saw 5 of them in the store. I took it to the front, tried to check out. It notified someone to come over, and they snatched it from my hand and said, "Oh, these aren't supposed to be out." So I went back to the aisle, grabbed one, and hid it somewhere in the store. So I don't know if someone found it. I don't know when these go up for sale. I don't know. I just like I don't like scalpers. Like I get anxiety thinking, oh man, I guess I touched one, but I'll never get to have it because once this goes on sale, the scalpers will go in. It's a $20 thing, but they'll probably ask for $80. Stupid nonsense. But hopefully this goes up on Walmart.com. And right now I've only seen this at Walmart. So that covers the 5-inch figures. The 2.5-inch line is making a comeback. A lot easier to collect this time. So there are two options for you. You can either go to Walmart, and I've seen these in, at least I've seen Sonic in person, and a friend of mine picked up the whole set when he was on a trip, and I actually need to meet up with him and pay him for them still. I don't have them in hand. But here's what they look like at Walmart. They are very similar to the checkout lane items. In fact, you might see them at checkout lanes sometime along with the game versions. But here they are. So to my knowledge, Knuckles is a re-release from the Sonic 2 line of 2.5-inch figures, as is Robotnik. Shadow is new, and then Sonic has a different face. He had like your standard Sonic face before with the furrowed brow, but now he's like, I don't know, he looks like happy. He looks like surprised. It's a weird face, but it is different, so I'll give them that. Now, if you want these and you already have the Sonic 2 figures, all you really need is the Shadow and the Sonic, and you're good. And these are, don't read that price is different for something else. It's actually a little under $5, which is not bad. But you could also pick up this set, which is pretty good. It comes with the new Sonic with his very weird face. Kind of looks like E.T. or something. I don't know. Shadow, of course, and then Knuckles, again, a reissue, as well as the Buzz Bomber, which was in the Sonic 2 set, and then this little egg capsule, which was the 4-inch Robotnik accessory for Sonic 2. So, 3 of these things are repackaged from Sonic 2. The other 2 you can get at Walmart. But these are at Target, $20. It's not loading right now, but I'm fairly certain you can buy these online right now, and I saw like 10 of them today. So they're going to be very easy to find. Also coming out, spoiler alert, is going to be a giant enemy crab, which is pretty cool. Now, the play sets for Sonic 2 was the tornado, and then it was this like boss fight, like where it was like a Rock'em Sock'em robot. This one, though, instead of being like a play set, it's really more of a vehicle, which is kind of neat. And I also like that you could probably stick Robotnik on here somewhere. So we finally get like a Robotnik toy vehicle, which is nice. They show you here, I guess Sonic can like sit inside of it, and then there's a little firing missile. It has pinching claws to pick him up. Maybe that's what's going on in that little picture on the side. But this will probably be very easy to find. The vehicles usually are. And it looks pretty cool. Sonic looks very happy to be killed by that thing. Also, coming up from them are plushies. So there's going to be 2 plushes. One is a reissue from Sonic 2. It's just going to be in the Sonic 3 box. I've seen many of these already in stores. What I don't see so often is the new one, which is a Shadow one to go along with the Sonic. These ones are being scalped, unfortunately, but fortunately, they're readily available. If Target were to load on my screen right now, it would show an add to cart option. In fact, I took advantage of a 15% off coupon they have going through Sunday for Target Circle members, which I think is free to join. It's just their rewards program. So, yeah, you can knock 15% off of that, and if you have the Target card, an additional 5% free shipping with that as well. Or you can go to the stores. I found a very nice woman who brought one out from the back, and I felt bad that I wasn't going to buy it, even though she found it for me because I already purchased it the night before online. But I think this one looks pretty cool. It's kind of like the quintessential Sonic 3 piece of merch. The fuzzy doll with he has like hard plastic eyes. You can't really see it here, but I always thought this one looked a little weird, but kind of cool. I don't know. He looks like a little bear for some reason. But I love that they gave him a Shadow to go along with him, and it just makes sense to re-release that one. And then lastly, well, almost lastly, we have the Sonic 3 Ultimate Talking Sonic figure. And this one's interesting because you can get this at Walmart for like $35, but Target has it for $50. And I don't know why there's like a $10 or $15 discrepancy. But Yeah, I wish it was here with me right now. Oh,
Did your butt just turn into a helicopter?
no, it didn't, Sonic, but thanks for joining us. So this is the ultimate talking Sonic figure. And as you can see, it's very similar to like a large version of this one. Some differences, but I I said the plush Shadow was like the ultimate, or the, like the quintessential figure of this line. I don't know. I feel like this one is. This one's really cool, though. It doesn't really have any Sonic 3 stuff to it. All the lines are from Sonic 1 and 2, but there's cool features. So besides being pretty highly articulated, whoa. You can touch a lot of things. So weirdly, they made his sneakers buttons, and they actually press in on both sides. So he makes running sounds there, and because there's wires running all through his body, he doesn't really have, it's not highly articulated. Like that's the bend on his leg. He's like an old woman. Same with the arm, because you can fist bump him and he'll talk. Let's see.
Aw, this one is cute. Let's keep him.
He's very loud, too.
Today's forecast calls for clear sunny skies and a 100% chance of adventure. Holy Sherbert!
He swears, too. He says a lot of phrases, and then this bit, I thought it was broken. I was like, oh, his chest doesn't do anything. Because the demo mode, he would when I press it. But what you do is you hold it and watch what he does. This is cool. So he charges up, which is pretty cool. His eyes glow blue. His spikes are there. And what's really neat is that you can see here he has green eyes. It's kind of hard to see on there, but yeah, his eyes are most definitely green, but when they glow, they turn blue, which I think is...
Welcome to Sonic Air, the fastest way to travel. Now boarding groups 1 and 2.
So he'll glow blue for a little bit while he talks.
Trouble? Don't worry, everything here is completely normal.
And then when it dies down,
I gotta go fast.
He stops doing that. So this one, I would definitely say, if you want to get like one thing to commemorate the release of the movie and the trilogy as a whole, this is a really great figure. Another little show and tell before we get into the one last bit of figures. I found this inside of the display case today, and I was like, I might as well take it. And someone noted like it's like lock-on technology, so that made me chuckle. And so going back into the merch, there's one more bit that you can find, and that is, I should say, the 9-inch plushies. And again, they're reissuing a lot from Sonic 2, so the Sonic, the Tails, and the Knuckles are all reissues of Sonic 2. It just has a different tag. The one you're going to be on the lookout for, obviously, is Shadow. And as you can see here, he's not like, they throw a couple in the box. It's not like they're being, light on the shadows. You can see here, too, they found a lot of the toys. But the reason is because this person was a month ago, they went to Target, and the same thing that happened with me with the motorcycle. They plucked it out of his hand. He was trying to buy all these, and he couldn't. But, yeah, my friend picked up the Shadow as well. And he looks pretty cool. But, it's mainly, it's cool that it's like Sonic 3 merch of Shadow. So just to give you, that's what we have so far. That's what we know is coming out. So just to give you a refresher, there's the 4 5-inch figures. These are brand new. None of them are reissues from Sonic 2. Do not pay scalper prices. Do not buy up the stores. Leave some for other people. Leave some for fans, and leave some for kids. Because kids, oh my God. So I was at Walmart and I saw a kid pick up the little 2.5-inch Fang figure, and I've never seen like a child interact with a Fang toy, and they liked it, and I was like, that's so cool. I have kids myself, so it's not like I'm a creeper looking at kids at Walmart, but I was like, oh, that's so awesome. So yeah, most definitely these are brand new. They're hot, but don't buy into the scalpers, and just wait for them to come out. It's fine, you'll get them. The Wave 2 is completely unique, 4 figures. You can save a little money too. I think it's like $5 less than buying the Wave 1 figures. And like again, if you're not bothered by variants, this is a good way to get almost the whole set minus Robotnik. This one, Walmart exclusive. Shadow himself looks a little different. I didn't mention that. It's a little cheaper too. He doesn't have those like clear plastic eyes like I was talking about. They're just kind of printed on. The bike too is all right. I don't know. It looks kind of generic, but I think it does match the movie bike. These 2.5-inch ones, if you didn't get the Sonic 2 ones, I would say this is your best bet. This little box set here that you can get at Target. $20. Alternatively, if you are at Walmart and you find them, like the only ones that are new are Sonic and Shadow. So there you go. It's like under $10 and you can get the 2 figures, throw them in with your Sonic 2 ones, and then you got the whole set. Giant Enemy Crab isn't on the shelves yet, but this is all brand new. It's another great way to get the Sonic. So like if you can't find the Sonic but you found the Shadow, like you get the Shadow figure from here. You get the Sonic figure in this set because Jakks Pacific is notorious with giving you Sonic toys again and again and again, the same figure. This, like I said, reissue from Sonic 2. This is the one you're going to want to get because it's, you know, new, unique to this set. And then this is one, this is my pick. This is my, I don't know, like my essential Sonic Trilogy toy purchase. I think this is such a cool figure. And then lastly, the 9-inch Shadow plush is new. So not that much, but you know, it's still young. We might be seeing some more merch come out for the movie, but you know, like I said with Sonic 2, it was manageable, and I hope this is manageable as well. I think the one I'm really looking forward to, which you know is happening, is a Build-A-Bear Shadow the Hedgehog. That's just going to be epic. And if they can make it talk like Keanu Reeves, that would be even better, but I'm not holding out for that. So there is a pretty concise 30-minute walkthrough of all the Sonic 3 toys that can be found so far and in the coming months will be, as well as some advice. Don't be a scalper, hold out. These things will become available. And Target and Walmart are your best bets. Haven't really seen anything on Amazon yet. So, yeah, the Sonic 3 season has begun. I'm excited. I hope you all are too. And we'll see you next time on SEGA News Bits Live. Bye.